Nearly 90% of all mortgagees or renters had paid all or some of their rents or mortgages by the end of June, which is very ironic because you'll see surveys that say 30% or 31% of homeowners and renters are late on their payment for the month of June. Clickbait stuff, trying to scare you. So let's think of how this works. All right, your payment is due on the 1st, as this mine is, all right? Now, you're literally technically late if they don't process your loan on the 1st. So I always have it set up automatically. It always comes into my account. They take it, like I put it on the 30th because I want to make sure they have it the day before. Sometimes it doesn't actually clear my account for 3 or 4 days. Am I considered late? Well, technically I am, even though they got my money. They just haven't posted it yet. So when they say 30 to 31% of mortgagees and renters are late on their payment, implying that there's going to be this, oh my goodness, huge chaos, stupid. And then on top of it, don't forget, all that matters is how many people paid at the end of the month. Because at the end of the month is when your mortgage is going to have been due. If you had it paid by the end of the month and you had a month payment in June, you are late. But don't forget, you also have this thing called the grace period. Well, I do 15 days. If I make no payment in the first 15 days, if day 16 they process, then I have to pay a fee. You know, I think like $100 or something. I don't even know what it is, but that's how it works. I'm late with a late fee if on day 16 I haven't made my payment. But if if day 14 I made my payment, I'm technically late because I hadn't made my payment on day 1. However, I don't charge a late fee or anything. It doesn't affect my credit, doesn't go against my credit score, nothing. All right. So the question again that really comes to mind is, and it's just funny how they're not talking about this, the clickbaiters and the fear mongers among us, they're saying, oh my God, 30% of mortgagees at record high are late and renters. There's going to be a housing crash. Ah. And then they say, okay, but how much of them paid by the end of the month? Well, 90%. Okay, all right. Well, they didn't pay all, Josh. They just say they paid all or some of their rents or mortgages. Yeah, what's interesting, it's still a whole lot different. I don't know what the percentage is of how many pay the rent versus mortgage, or how many people pay the full or partial. I don't know. But if you look at the people who actually paid their mortgage, 83% paid without having a fee. So we can assume the vast late fee. We can assume the vast majority of people who paid their mortgage in June did so within the time constructs of not being late, where they charge a late fee. The vast majority. And yet you're not going to hear that. It's the same kind of thing with this. You know, they're saying, oh, they're cooking the books on unemployment numbers, and then if you look at the books, you're like, wait a second. If we do it month to month, on either way, either the cooking of the books method or the non-cooking of the books method, the unemployment numbers are dropping like a brick in water. It's like literally it's the same thing of looking at global warming and starting in 1979. If you start and say, look at historical global warming, Josh, the last 40 years, oh my goodness, yeah. See global warming because you're starting from a low. It's like looking at the hockey stick for global warming and not including the medieval warm period, that's for sure. And starting during the Little Ice Age, with 1800s or something like that, maybe 1700s, 1750s, 1800s. I mean, it's just complete corruption, man. Yeah, I just hate this clickbait crap. Mortgagees are doing mostly pretty fine. I'm sure there are some in the world that hurt, but the vast majority of mortgagees are not delinquent on their loans. They're not in forbearance. Now, one of the arguments you can make, and I'm not ready to make this argument, is should you not pay your mortgage, go into forbearance and save up equity, cash. That's attractive. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't done any research on it, Frank. I mean, I've done a little bit, but not much where I would convince myself it's the way to go, even though it would make sense. You say, look, dude, I don't even know how it works. I mean, I know you don't have to pay it all back after 3 months. I did a video on this a few months ago. It's just silly. The clickbait negative. But I got to tell you, it works. You know how I know? Because I said forbearance or something like that. Oh, it came up on my feed. Housing market crash. I'm like, Oh, that's weird because I'm not seeing that at all. I'm not seeing any housing market crash except, and it's not even in these big cities yet. I would presume it would be, but I'm not seeing it. So, but I said, what's this guy talking about? And this is where the negative, like maybe he's seeing something I'm not. This guy starts saying, oh, look, the forbearance, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, God, dude, it's just all freaking clickbait crap to try to scare you to death. Housing market crash 2020. I hate that crap. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, so I haven't really dived into if it makes sense to forbear to save up cash. And in some ways, I think that does make sense because cash, man, having cash on the side allows you to sleep at night. They just if you're going to do that, you'd want to make sure they just add those payments at the end of your loan, if that makes sense. Look. So for me, I'm gonna sell my house in 6-7 years once the youngest kid is gone. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be here for 30 years. So if they add the payment at the end of my, I got 24 years left of my mortgage or something like that, 25. If they add the payment at the end of that, there's no skin on my back. So I'll sell my house well before that. But I don't like the idea of, I don't know. I don't like, man, I've had a mortgage going back to when I was 26 years old. And it's one of those things that's like it's like a tattoo. It's ingrained in me. And so because I've had that for so long, the idea of not using that and having the cash on the side, I think I might spend it. And that's what scares me most. Something to think about. All right, we'll see you.